Hello, and welcome to a more analytical video. Now, let me set something straight. This is exclusively talking under the assumption of the common fan theory / headcanon that Futaba is autistic, which is extremely likely looking at her personality and mannerisms. I am not an expert on that, but I am autistic, so I think I can speak pretty well for myself and apply that knowledge to Futaba because she is great. Also, expect all gameplay background footage to just be Thieves' Den because it is great, and seriously, I can play Tycoon for like 8 hours. Anyway, on to the video. Again, I'm going to rephrase this. This is only talking about the assumption that she is autistic, which is likely. And I am not going to be talking about things like social political issues in Japan, which affect Futaba's character and arc, because I am not informed on that at all. I will actually link a video in the iCards about now that does, in my opinion, a pretty good job at that, considering I don't understand any of it. And it's a great look at Futaba's character as well, just not much of it, since autism's a really hard thing to understand, covered that specific part of Futaba, other than the general things that would affect her in society due to it. So this will be looking a lot more in-depth into that one specific part of Futaba. So, where do I start? Because you probably already saw on screen, spoilers for the entirety of Royal, but I will put that at the end, and then just the first few palaces and strikers. Nothing major. But, let's go. I figure analyzing Futaba seems like a great place to start. So this is a part that I just want to mention before anything else. Her association with her tarot card. Futaba, like the majority of the characters in this game, has one tarot card and two meanings, as each tarot card has a reverse arcana. So, let's get into that. The Hermit arcana normally means, based on my general reading into this, to search within yourself for answers. Which, something I find with Persona 5 characters and what I've looked into for their tarot cards, their standard version is very surface level for the character and how it applies, and then their reverse card is very deep. Like, look into Akechi and you'll see what I mean. But I think this generally means here, obviously, Futaba locked herself away because she thought she, resulted in her mother's death. So, in this case, she was searching in her own mind. Like, her palace is basically, a mind dungeon which hold all the answers to her past within it. Things that have been distorted through time. Something that Shadow Futaba knows, but actual Futaba doesn't. It's really interesting, and I think really interesting how that applies to her character on a surface level. And then the reversed Hermit arcana, repeating one's past mistakes, which I think is a bit hard to stretch to Futaba. But throughout the course of the game and her Confidant, she has made a few of the same mistakes. Like, just generally making mistakes of not coming out. Because even when she did, she was wearing that dumb little mask thing. I can't remember what it was called. In Strikers, she does do similar things in a degree of she does put herself out more, and that's a good thing, but honestly, Futaba doesn't often repeat her mistakes. There are a few things in her Confidant with Kana, but aside from that, the only other major one I can think of is in the Royal section regarding the third semester, but I just put that in the entire Royal section. It also indicates the extremes of solitude, and I really don't think I need to explain how that applies to Futaba. And then, lastly, that I took out of reverse, is don't lock yourself away. It gets lonely. I definitely feel Futaba probably felt extremely lonely, but she also felt it was a necessary extreme, so she wouldn't hurt others like she did her mother. Because she was still assuming that she was responsible for her suicide. That's just my general reading into the tarot card, even though that's a small part of this video, but you know. Autism in the main story. So, generally, Futaba's lack of social awareness could likely be both cocked up to the fact that she, you know, doesn't leave her room, combined with a bit of autism there, just because, obviously, I can't speak since Japan is a very high context language compared to, you know, every English-speaking country, which is very low context. So it'd be probably extra hard to pick up on social cues in reading the room, so to speak, considering I struggle with that a bit in a low context language. So I can definitely see where that comes from. And just to get into Futaba's palace, in Futaba's palace, specifically regarding why it was likely hard for her, regarding Wakaba constantly being forced to do different things to accompany her research, that almost certainly threw Futaba off schedule. Speaking for myself, like I am this whole video, I follow a schedule. It's very important, hence why I wake up sometime between 7 and 8 every day, and go to bed at 9 every day. No, I'm not joking. I've been doing this for years, and schedules and routines just make things easy to follow, and also alleviate stress, and obviously that's me, but I feel like a similar degree could also coincide with Futaba. And what I'm about to bring up here is exclusively, entirely gameplay, but she's only available to talk to her confidant while she is outside of LeBlanc on a select few days of the week. Yes. Is that gameplay? Yes, it is. But it also follows a routine. In my case, since I did Futaba every opportunity I got, okay, it's this day of the week, I'm done school, let's hang out with Futaba. Retroactively would also give her a schedule and routine. It's just something I thought I'd mention. And to agree to that, just because obviously with Wakaba's research and her job, she would always be having to focus on that more, which could obviously disrupt things in Futaba's life, because there is a lot you need to get done when you're researching something that can either kill everyone in the world or save the world. So, yeah. Futaba's palace there kind of shows that to a degree. And how you can see it to another degree just with how the palace is designed. Because it's, here's one section, you just have to worry about that. Here's another section, ramping up in difficulty slightly and introducing some more mechanics. Here's another section being more difficult with that, and requiring a mastery of those mechanics you just learned. And here's the boss. It is split into 4 sections, unlike a lot of palaces where they are, yes, they are still pretty linear, but they're still very open, and there are usually multiple places to go that are the correct path, especially in Royal. Futaba's Palace, no, you always do this area first. You go through that in a pretty linear pattern, you move on to the next thing. Futaba's Palace is extremely linear, very routine, if I do so myself. I just think that's a neat little touch that could apply to that. Futaba's Confidant. More stuff regarding routine, as I think that's one of the things that can apply heavily closest to the two of us. Referring to me and her in terms of autism, just with routines and junk. Because her Confidant can actually show that through, well, the promise lists. Sorry, it's really weird saying lists. Like list plural. I don't know, it's just hard for me to say it. Don't know why. But those set a sense of routine as well. Just with, okay, here's what I have to do. Like, and I personally would also, with how I am, I get my work done and stuff I have to do done first. And that's just how I am. And the other thing, Futaba is very clearly a caring person who just messes up what she does sometimes. Looking at things like, obviously, her relationship with the Phantom Thieves, and then especially Kana-chan. Just because Kana, she did mess up. She felt really sorry and never got a chance to apologize. And then did what she did best as a Phantom Thief. She went and put her and her friends' lives in danger. Obviously, the Phantom Thieves were fine with doing this. They like helping people. But she put her life in danger to try to help someone who was mad at her for what she did. And then later set herself a goal to push herself outside of her comfort zone so she can achieve a goal that she wants to reach. Is that both just good storytelling? Yes. That also apply to autism? Yes. And she even mentions in her Confidant that she actually does like being Joker pushing her out of her comfort zone. And I can attest to that. It's one where it's like, I don't like this normally, but like, I don't like it, but it's something I appreciate in the long run. So that's what I wanted to talk about regarding her Confidant. Time for the third semester stuff. Because, of course, with the Persona 5 Royal third semester, Futaba's relationship with her mother is shown, and it is extremely caring, and Futaba, because of what Maruki did, rewriting reality, she never left her room, but you can still tell she has traits that would be of autism. And she shows them again after the fact, one speaking about Joker because she felt bad that she managed to fall for this false reality. Which, of course, I don't think anyone's going to blame her for that. And if you are, who do you like in this cast? Literally every character aside from Joker, Akechi, and Kasumi fell for it, so... You know what? Actually, you can't... Joker's a great character, but he's a silent protagonist. I guess Akechi. Yeah, the only character I could see really is Akechi, because Kasumi doesn't have much exploration into her character until during the third semester, so yeah, you're Akechi. Which, in all fairness, he's a good character, but not the topic of this video. But yeah, with the third semester, she still is that, and then after that, in some scrap stuff, because you can't get it during the final boss fights, because Futaba can't be in the party because she's the nav, she still is determined to follow her own path and follow in her mother's footsteps and not let her death be in vain, and somehow manages to at least be like, fine, you can stay in the party, Akechi. Seriously, I'm surprised both Haru and Futaba were fine with that. But that's just kind of the person she is, I guess. Things I didn't touch on. I didn't touch on her correlation to her personas, despite them usually being decently deep, like Akechi with Robin Hood and junk. I just don't know enough about Necronomicon and her other two personas. Sadly. But, yeah. That's about it. If you enjoyed, please tell me so I can make more videos like this. Also, I think I'll be streaming Nintendo's E3 on Tuesday. I'd love to see you guys there. And aside from that, I'll see you guys in the next one. And again, tell me if you guys enjoyed this type of video.